Okay. Are we?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. How are you all today? We are currently broadcasting from day one of the Walk-ins Conference. We just went through an epic journey into the cosmos today for the last 8 hours. And now we are broadcasting our panel for day one onto New Realities YouTube. So hello to everybody there and everybody on Portal to Ascension YouTube and a few different Facebook pages, and getting this awareness out. So after we've curated all this energy for the day, now we're here to not only discuss and be in that vibration, but also take it even further and have a conversation about not just the concept of walk-ins, but the messages, right? It's not really about the fact that these individuals have walked in. It's about the messages that they have brought because of this experience. So that is what we're in store for today. Tomorrow, we're going to go live again for day 2 panel. So if you're tuning in and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our channels, and you'll get notified tomorrow when we go live again for day 2.
And if people want to do the conference tomorrow, Neil, if people want to,
and if you want to do the conference, actually in the description of all the streams that we're doing right now, you can just click. It's the first link right there. You can sign up and get the replay for all day today, and you can sign up and watch tomorrow. Or if you sign up after tomorrow, you'll get the replay. You have unlimited replay access to everything that we do. So go ahead and click that link there. And I'm just going to hand it over to Sheila. Sheila is one of the 3 producers. It's myself, Alan, and Neil. Well, myself, Alan, and Sheila, excuse me, for this event. And Sheila, why don't you go ahead and tell us what we're about to do here and introduce the panel?
Absolutely. As is tradition, we've been having a panel at the end of each of our days from our speakers. I'll go back through and introduce the speakers here in just a moment. And then we also have invited some individuals to come and to join us. And I had met Rosalind a couple months ago, and she had shared with me her film called Neon Star. And I asked her if she would join us tonight to share a few minutes. And I also invited Aggie. So where are you, Aggie? There you are. Aggie knows. And I'm flipping through, and there's Rosalind. And then we have Omar Faizi. And I'm going to start now with Jaden. Jaden was one of our speakers today. All of our speakers are walk-ins, and everyone kind of talked from their different perspective. And all of our stories are so different, yet we all have this common thread of, yes, we're walk-ins. Yes, we come from different planes of existence, but we're all here to be in service to humanity and to the planet. Next, our other speaker that we have up is Jim Farley, and Jim became a walk-in as a result of an accident. He was sailing, and so let me click through. And then we have Claire Candy Howes, who is an angelic walk-in and houses Archangel Ariel. And so we're extremely excited to have all of our speakers, all of our panelists here tonight. And what I kind of had in mind is I was really excited by Rosalind's film. And so I want to share, have her to share a little bit of that with us. And then we're just going to kind of open it up and just kind of have a roundtable discussion. But right. I was also wondering if each of our panelists that are here tonight, we could just go through real quickly, because I just hit the highlights. And if everyone would just say, you know, who they are, what their websites are. So if people want to find them, that we kind of go ahead and mention that on the front end. And so, Claire, can we go ahead and start with you?
Absolutely. My business is Angel Healing House, which you can find at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I've had 20 years of teaching hundreds and hundreds of Reiki practitioners and master teachers around the world, either online or in Santa Monica, California, in my beautiful office here. And I've helped, I've been a very public walk-in for the angelic walk-in for the last 20 years. I've helped countless walk-ins to get adjusted to being in this human form and to get on the path of their mission, by cleaning up the former soul's anger, sadness, bitterness, resentment, regret, judgment, all of those things, bringing them back to unconditional love and forgiveness. And so they're absolutely clear as they go forward, and they have nothing but high frequency to be of service to the planet. And so, I do this through the teaching of Reiki, through energy sessions, and all of those things. And I help people to connect with their divinity, because it doesn't matter where we come from. We are all created in the light of the divine, and I help them to recapture their joy. And if there's one thing that's going to fuel this new era of light on the planet, it's to recapture that joy inside of us and to live from the inside out, from that divine service of serving ourselves and then serving humanity. And we do that through our joy. So that's where people can connect with me on Angel Healing House. And that phone number is 831-277-3716. And remember, that's Pacific Standard Time.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see, Augie, you want to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about you?
Okay, I guess I could. Yeah, I am an import to the United States. I was born and raised in Europe. And I came here at the age of 25 and to go to flight school, and I became a pilot. And we had an air flight school, international air taxi, and a commuter airline for many, many years. And but I burned out. Doesn't matter if you do too much, or even if you enjoy it, you can burn out. So I started doing other things, study of the mind, and started ending up kind of by accident. I got pushed into radio shows, and I've been having radio and TV shows for probably 25 years or maybe more now. And I don't know, I've written a few books and done some interesting things. So, well, I guess that probably take care of me. But
what brings you to this panel, Augie?
Well, I have studied both the mind and maybe the spiritual realms, probably more than a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing that in the last several years, or probably last decade, and maybe even more than that, there has been a lot more of highly developed spiritual entities coming into this realm, and more advanced souls, I suppose. And also more walk-ins are becoming aware of who they are. And I'm seeing this because I'm hearing people talking. I have a friend here in Tucson. She is a walk-in, but she says that she remembers her past life situations, and but none of them were on Earth. And that becomes interesting conversations. And I see that from probably more so now than it has been, because we got to ask ourselves, why now?
Yeah.
And I've looked into this, and I got some insights that I can, when the time permits here, I could go into.
That's a good question for everyone, that we could talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Augie. Okay, who else, Sheila, do you want to introduce?
Hey, let's see. In case our audience hasn't met Jim, can you go ahead and share just a little history about yourself?
Yeah, this all the walk-in stuff is very, very new to me. Even though I've been living the life for 8 years. You can find me on Instagram on Jim Farley, and I do Reiki channeling, and it's basically just a mixing of doing the Reiki and then talking to the person as I discover things about them during the session. And it seems to be a very good fit and work very well for me. And that's about where I am at the moment.
Beautiful.
Thank you. How about Rosalind?
Yes. Um, it's been quite an interesting journey. We've had so many experiences. I myself have had 3 near-death experiences in my life, and also have been having communications telepathically, and let's say a cosmic family that's been with me since I was born. So it feel like I have guidance through the whole lifetime, and someone watching over me or there all the time. And actually, through my connection with the cosmos, with the celestial communities and the galactics and our cosmic collective, they're really collectives. They kind of come in these portals. They don't even need ships. You know, we won't be able to tell the ships from the government ships and the ET ships. So, but it is a very mixed. There's, let's say, higher and lower vibrations and everything. And I am actually here assisting with planetary trauma, core wound healing for humanity and the planet through energy transference, bringing calm, healing, rebalancing, and activation to just through presence, through speaking, through music. Actually, we're all doing that. We're sending these signals out, and we're receiving these messages because we are one in a community. We're one consciousness, and we're just remembering that we are that. So before, people were afraid to see in ET. We watched too many movies. I don't know. We got funny ideas about all these things. So, and I've had so many experiences, and they become more and more present in what it means for us now to learn how to see everything from an unconditional standpoint of love, and to join together as one. And I offered myself, even from my heart, as ambassadorship, to join us with our cosmic community, that we can all see that. We can't look upon, say, a child that has Down syndrome and say that's not a pretty child. No, that is a soul and a being that is beautiful and that has accepted a challenge to be here on this planet and to surpass that. And just so, I think that we're learning to open up and connect to everyone and everything, and most of all, ourselves and who we are, who we really are. And I asked the ETs and the collective of the cosmic community, the galactics, everyone, they're so all around us, they really are. And I asked them, please, I find you all so beautiful. Just show me who you are. And they do.
Mhm.
And yeah, as we open our hearts, as we fall away from all the things that really don't express us, don't bring us to our highest joy, as Claire was saying also, then we find we're limited. And once you start to drop all that away, your limitations just skyrocket. There are no limitations.
You
and
have your film kind of geared up and ready to go in a few moments.
it's so ready. It's just a click
Okay,
away.
great.
But we'll just finish saying hello to
Sure.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
Okay.
who do you want
Let's
to?
move down to Omar.
Okay.
Watchers talk.
Is Omar?
Hi, Omar, you want to introduce yourself? And
Sure. What can I say, my fellow beautiful projections? I am a point of attention within the infinite stream of consciousness, having this human experience and hosting my YouTube channel called Watchers Talk. Why I'm here to really get a better understanding of consciousness and a deeper understanding of it, and see how it works and see how it operates. And a lot of you on this panel are really the examples of consciousness that is in operation because of your walking experiences and things like that. So I have an interest in really understanding that a little bit further, because you know, I'm a student of just humanness. I want to understand everything about humans while I vibrate as one. So the deeper awareness I have of it, the better understanding I'll have of myself. So that's really why I'm here, and to really put my 2 cents in. And that's about it.
Thank you. That's
awesome.
great. Thanks for the 2 cents.
And
Okay.
we have Jaden is our last person. Hi, Jaden.
Hello.
Hello again.
Yes. My name is Jaden Fox, and my website is jaden-fox.com. And my journey has been one of spending, I don't know, about a decade in the whole New Age movement and really deeply immersing in it. And then another decade in spending a lot of time exploring with angels and gods and entities and aliens and demons and all these other participants here. And what I noticed was my New Age dabblings, actually wasn't dabbling, immersion totally threw me off, like locked me down. And I had to begin a journey of like finding myself and untangling from the illusions of this reality to see what is actually true for me personally. And in that journey of untangling, I slowly became aware that there are many energies on this planet that pretend to be benevolent, that once you engage them and you get kind of tangled with them, they surface in this love and light way, or that they're here to help humanity or blah, blah, blah. But what's going on underneath is there's this other agenda that is actually not about helping humanity. It's actually about exploiting humanity. And that nothing in my life made sense until I was able to see this bigger picture of things. And that's what I do with people, is to help them to untangle from things that are preventing them from being aware and present and finding their truth and finding and stepping into their magic of what they came here to be and do. So I call myself a consciousness accelerator, because I help people to dramatically become more aware of their truth.
You know, I appreciate that perspective, Jaden, because we're at such a turning point, crisis point, that we need to know the path ahead is within and not the distraction from without. So
Yeah.
we're all here to help guide each other and ourselves on the straight and narrow, in a sense, the inner path of discovery without the distraction. And I think a day like this and tomorrow is a part of fine-tuning consciousness. It's a part of, let's look at ourselves, let's see who we really are without the old labels, and let's see what we can discover. So I think what Jaden's map to reality is key to understanding the direction we're moving into. So thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And should I just introduce myself, Sheila?
Sure. And let's see, Stone has just joined
Oh,
us.
good. Oh, good. Well, let's
Yeah.
introduce Stone, and then we'll just show some of Rosalind's stuff, and we'll also take questions from the chat. if people have questions for people on the panel as well. And
so I think Stone's just arriving. There we go. So we're just in the process of introducing ourselves to the viewing audience tonight, just saying just a little bit. We're going to watch a little bit of a film, and then we're all going to kind of open that up for discussion. So it's your turn.
Nice to be here with like minds. Thank you for the energy sharing. Always appreciated. I'm Stone Hobbit and I reside in New Zealand. Basically, I'm an energy being, a walk-in, lots of contact with different forms of ET. I put it down to frequency, signature frequencies, different types of entities from different dimensions. I have a lot of orbs come in, plasma spheres. I'm spotting ships regularly. The latest ship that we had was 2 nights ago. So there's always a lot of contact going on. I'm in full communication with all the insects and bugs around me. I love them. Water, I communicate with the water. I basically communicate with the frequencies that are around. I hear frequency pitch changes. I'm aware when my friendlies are going across the top and when they're going to call me outside to take photos. All sorts of different entities that come in through night terrors, which I call dimensional accessing. I've done a lot of self-discovery on learning how my body works, how the organs are all frequency based, the best things to feed them, the best ways to communicate with them so they're all harmonic. Once we're all in frequency together and working together, then it comes to the outer side, how we're receivers and senders of different forms of information. Once we start becoming aware that we're communicating on a multidimensional level, everything has a different frequency, even down to the clear intent thought process. So I'm here as a communicator, some form of ambassador. I'm not fully aware of what I signed up for, but I'm having this experience and I'm doing the best that I can to be the best that I can so that my energy, my clean, clear intent energy is rippled out there for others. I feed myself the right information, being at the top of this point so that others may share it at some stage. So I'm here as a healer, as a communicator, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And then, of course, we have Mr. Alan Steinfeld with us tonight. Alan, thank you so much for being here. And of course, Neil, the three of us really work to put these productions together. And I couldn't be happier to have you guys as partners. You're the ones that really brought that first conference to really the fruition. I had the idea, I had the speakers, but I didn't have a platform. And then Alan introduced me to Neil, and the rest is history. So I thank you so much. And I thank both of you for the phenomenal contribution that you're making to help to elevate the consciousness of the planet.
Well, I just want to say it's great working with you two and actually everyone. There's no drama. There's no, tension. It's just like it flows and we seem to be in harmony and of like mind. Everyone does their different kind of job in a sense to kind of pull towards the center. And it's been like 5 or 6 conferences we've done at this point, and they've all getting better and better. And of course, the walk-in conference was Sheila's real brainchild because of Sheila's experience. But I also think what we've been building, everyone here for the last few years, we could not have had a conference like this 5 years ago. I don't think the consciousness was right to even accept the fact that there are levels and levels of integration, of soul integration happening here. So we are formulating a new way of thinking about consciousness. That's why I love the subtitle of Sheila's book, Cosmology of the Soul, because this is what we're really discovering. We're separating from the old religions that said it has to be this way and this way. No, there is no way. There is just being is the way, and we are creating the cosmology here. And that's what's so exciting about working with Neil and Sheila and everyone here, is that we've allowed ourselves to create something new and original and take its own form. And everyone watching is adding to that. Everyone here on this panel is adding their own perspective. This is the new world in progress that we are building from a sense, the bottom up. So it's very exciting to me, because that's what I've been working for with my show, New Realities, since the 90s. I didn't know how it would manifest, but this is its latest incarnation into form. These are the new realities each one of us bringing here. So thank you. I enjoy working with everyone here, and just I'm always learning, and today was just full of more and more information and learning, not just information, knowledge, because you can learn a lot of things, but knowledge activates the wisdom of one's own experience. And that is what I crave, the ongoing evolution of awareness. So thank you. That's sort of what I have to say. And Neil, anything? Well,
Neil.
Ditto, I guess. But definitely feels effortless. We have an incredible synergy. And
Yeah.
It was actually 6 years ago that I wanted to do a walk-ins conference. So 6 years ago, I wrote it down on my list of events, and I actually have the next 3 years of events already planned out. So I plan really far into the future. And so but I didn't do it 6 years ago because I thought people weren't ready for a 2-day conference on walk-ins. And then 4 years ago, I put in my list, I want to do a hybrids conference, but I also thought people weren't ready for that. And then when all of a sudden you connected me with Sheila, and now I had support, so I didn't have to just take 100% of the risk myself, but it would be more of a co-creation. I decided oh my God, the universe is manifesting it. And the first conversation or second conversation I had with Sheila was literally telling her that I always wanted to do a walk-ins conference, but I wasn't ready to put it together. So It's just interesting to note that it manifested anyway, which goes to show that the energy continues to shift and people are more and more open to specific topics. You hear about walk-ins, every now and then you go to a conference, you see 1 or 2 people that claim to be walk-ins, but to have a whole entire 2 days, or the last one, which was 3 days, right? A year ago from around about now, we did a 3-day walk-ins conference. That is something that's unprecedented. And it just goes to show we're having a good turnout. A lot of people are responding to it. So it goes to show that we are becoming more and more open to it. So, and I'll just leave it with this, regardless of all the craziness in the world, just the fact that this is a possibility now just goes to show that the energy is shifting in our favor. Part of that is seeing the growing pains, which might look like chaos externally, because we have a lot of stuff to work through. And as we work through it, it can be unicorns and rainbows, but it's not always like that. Sometimes we need to really go through, if not almost all the time, have to go through some sort of remembrance. And in this world of amnesia, how do we remember the light, right? We have to have the contrast of darkness. But if we do not have amnesia, we just have complete remembrance. It's a different story. So we've kind of set this up for ourselves to have this experience, what I believe we're here for in the first place, which is just to experience duality, and then to regain our conscious memory so that we can create heaven on earth. And events like this, and everything we do, Portal to Ascension, really is for not only just being present and living in the moment, which is really what it's all about, but then by doing that, we eventually start creating this world that we all know is possible.
Right, and we are creating it. Before we go to the videotape, I just had a question I wanted to throw out to the panel based on something Claire said. When we're living in 3D, we could eat those 3D foods, junk food, food coloring, chocolate candies, and just stuff we probably all grew up on. And then there's a shift where, at least for me, maybe other people are a higher dimension, they could eat anything, but I know I can't eat 3D food anymore. and or that level of I can't even have a pizza or a Coca-Cola.
You have a fifth dimensional stomach. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it goes with the vibration of the quality we want to put in our bodies. So I'm just curious what other people think of that. I mean, Claire, why don't you start with that? Because I got that from you, which was really important.
Yeah, it's because we no longer can just talk the talk. We have to walk the walk. And our bodies are higher dimensional frequency. And so it actually reads the frequency of poison, artificial coloring, flavoring, preservatives, additives. And I tell my clients to become a food detective, to actually turn the packet over. And if it has any of those, you're eating poison. That's what and your body will read it as poison now. And so there's lots of debates about whether we should eat meat or not. From my angel's perspective, and what we say is that it is a very individualized thing. If you're going to eat that, then make sure it doesn't have poisons of steroids and hormones in it. Make sure it was, sort of grass-fed and, that kind of thing. But we can no longer do that, because it's everything is frequency. Everything is frequency, and in the might I say, Ellen, when we were third dimensional, we could compartmentalize our life. We could go to work. We could eat a certain way. We could screw around on our, on our wives or our husbands and lead. But now everything bleeds into everything else and lowers the frequency. It's like being a little bit pregnant. Either you are or you're not. So in any other area of your life, we all have to be high vibrational and be that example of that higher frequency and that consciousness. So and there's all these wonderful alternatives. We're so blessed to be here at this time. So I don't have dairy, so I have macadamia milk. Or almond milk, organic almond milk. There's always alternatives. When people say, "Oh, I want to eat my M&Ms and I want to eat my, my high fructose corn syrup."
That's right. Well, let me go around and ask, like, Jaden, do you agree with that, or are you at a place beyond that?
I do. For me, it's really about what works for this body, and every body is different. The biggest lie is that we all should eat a certain thing, and I think it's really what works for your specific body and finding how you can optimize your local body's health.
Are you careful about what you put in your body? Are you pretty clean about all that?
Yeah, I've played the whole spectrum. I've gone all the way to way off the deep end to make sure nothing had anything in it. And I've realized that at the same time, I have the ability to neutralize things that are not necessarily optimal for my body. And so it's more about balance. And my body tells me, oh, okay, we're pushing that too far, or, lay off the gluten, or like, just to me, it's just about listening to my body.
Yes, that's key. The body is speaking louder than ever. I mean, I know I just ate something last week that knocked me out for 5 days. It's just, it was just a bag of sunflower seeds, but I was just eating, and then I was going unconscious, and boom, it hit me and slapped me in the face and woke me up. So,
because we can also get into the place where we're like, oh, these are all poisons, these are all toxic,
right?
And we can create a more poisoned reality than it actually needs to be.
That's true.
Is it all poison? No, but you can, if you believe it is, then you're going to generate more of that. So
that's right.
It's one of those, really listen to what flows for your body.
Right, and you don't want to eat junk too, of course, but it's a balance. It's a total balance. Is that true for you, James, as well? Or are you just eating a lot of chickweed? No, I'm kidding.
I can remember when I first realized those little coffee dispensers that you put in the machine, and you put the lid down and it pops in. I tasted a cup of that, and I could taste the petroleum in it.
Wow.
And perhaps that was from heating the plastic. I don't know, but it was horrible. So no, we have a lot of food allergies in my house, and very real serious food issues. So we try to eat very well. If I eat pizza, I try to make it homemade. It doesn't always work out, but I try. We have a lot of gluten, very serious gluten allergies in the house, so we work with that. We have separate toasters. I'd call that pretty divided. And I'm a vegetarian, but my family needs meat. It's a health issue with them. Food absorption, things like that, are just don't work well. And what I do with the meat that seems to work very well is I simply ask the meat that any negative energies in the life or death of these animals be returned to earth for the best and highest good. And it's interesting when I do that, because you'll sometimes just get sort of a, and sometimes you'll get a, and it just depends. And most of the time it works very smoothly. And it's also a nice connection, because it reminds you to be grateful to what is occurring. Come over. I may be a vegetarian, but come over. If you like meat, I will cook you meat, and I will cook it like a nice grandmother, and you will have great food. So as Claire said, it's not about judging or this or that. It's just about doing your best to put what's in your body, what matters.
Yeah. Listening to that body. Stone, you had a bunch of things to say about this too, right?
When it comes to the food thing, yes, it's definitely about frequency and vibration. I've had the opportunity to be a qualified chef in my earlier days, very much into hunting, gathering, and preparing meat meals and fat meals. Doing the living history, I went back into doing stuff by hand. I've always had innate knowledges. It was like I was born in the wrong time. So everything I do now, I do by hand, like grind my own flour if I need flour or wheat. I've got growing it outside. I basically grow what I need. I've gotten to the stage where I know what I need to survive on. Last year, I did a 52-day water fast and got to listen to all my system reboot itself. I got in communication with my stem cells, so I was able to follow where they were traveling throughout my body and dumping the rubbish and healing the new stuff. So I'm now, and the residual from that, the no swelling, the edema, it's totally rebooted the system. I find that I eat with my fingertips, not knife and fork, because one of the guidances I had was our body is, our organs, the skin is a huge sensor device. And, you touch stuff with your fingers first. If you pick up a metal fork, you're going to be sending the wrong signals to your gut brain. So when you pick it up by your fingertips, you're telling the right enzymes to get to work and get it done. Otherwise, you have problems, you have complications. So it's about redefining how I feed myself, giving that thanks to the plant for its life energy, for what it's gone through, what it's absorbed from its atmosphere, from the ground communication right through. It's absolutely complex, and I totally love it, because I am part of all of these plants that I eat myself. When I go to the supermarkets and stuff, I'm very cautious about what I buy, because so many people have handled it before I even pick it up. So many different chemicals in the soil. You'll have to transmute where it's come from, the frequencies that come from, so that I know that I'm getting the best information, so I can put it out there. Grow your own seeds. You talk to that seed as you're growing it. It'll give you what you need.
Yeah.
I went right through to doing urine therapy, where I drank my own urine for 3 days. And I was fasting beforehand. I wanted to know what my system was doing, how it was working, the whole, caboodle of it. And so I got to taste the salt. I got to taste the nutty flavor. I got to taste my health. I know this sounds really creepy and stuff, but this, we have this opportunity to be our own self-experiments. We get to, we can say hello to ourselves and identify what we are now putting in and what we're not putting in. I'm on my next fast. I'm on day 9 right now. So, it's a matter of just listening to the body. I used to suffer from chronic endometriosis. I can't say it properly, but anyway, once, really violent. As soon as I get that little niggling, if I don't get that pain under control, it'll knock me out totally. And so when I did this first massive fast, I haven't had an attack since. It's been pretty much 5 months since I did it. So, and I'm feeling pretty good about things. I'm running up and down hills that I couldn't before. So.
You also remind me of the fact when I've lived out near gardens where they're growing fresh fruit and vegetables and eating right out of the garden. There's I can't say it's a taste, but there's something else. There's a spark in that food that even after like an hour after it's picked, it's not there. But once you eat it right out of the ground or, right there, there's something else in this life vegetables, particularly that just adds to the consciousness and the life force in the body. The
other thing is, like, people throw out old vegetables that they, overused vegetables and stuff. Let it sit, let it ferment. But, you're taking a lot of the work out of your gut from having to do that work, and you're getting benefits from it. You're getting the minerals and the vitamins broken down already. So the less your stomach has to do, the more the body works in harmony with you and for you, the more the cleansing that goes on in all these different areas. And the amount of information that comes in is phenomenal. You're ready for it. If you're eating a certain way, you're taking care, like you communicate with the water. You put affirmations in your water, put it in the sunshine, fill yourself up with that light energy that you want to fill yourself with. There's so many healing properties that we can take care of. Do the fermentation of foods like sauerkraut juice, so many benefits to giving appreciation to the food and what you're actually putting into your system. You have to learn to value yourself, appreciate yourself. Doesn't matter if you have a binge now and then, because the body is working so well, it's just going to dump that junk. So,
muted, Alan.
Sorry, you're muted, Hannah.
Yes. What about Augie or Rosalind? Augie, you have something to add?
Yeah, I am totally on board with this, that we got to be careful what we put in our body. At least we got to make sure that we don't drink rat poison. Tap water, because fluoride is the active ingredient in decon rat poison, and they put it in your water. So don't drink that, and a few other things. Okay. But on the other hand, think about it also. This body, what is it? We are living in a mind-created, holographic, and self-aware universe. The mind creates everything here and around us. So if we have enough conviction in our mind to decide that I won't get sick from nothing, we won't get sick. I'm older than some of the hills around here, and I have never been sick in my life except for some well-deserved hangovers in my misspent youth. But otherwise, I don't get sick, because I have decided I do not accept sickness or illness in my life.
Right. Great.
And that's just the way it is for me. So if we decide the same thing, I will not get sick from anything. Actually, it should be it should be phrased different. I will always be healthy. But that's something that when we think about the body, we think about it as an independent entity that has life. No, there is no life actually in this body. The life rests with the spiritual entity behind it. This is a projection by the mind that is playing out its existence instead of life. I don't know. Did that sound too far out?
No, no, no. Love it. Love,
It was
love
right
that.
on point.
We all love it. What about you, Omar? All right, yeah. Omar, you could unmute there.
I'm totally on board, and people have said a lot of good things on this panel. And what I personally do, and I have been doing for decades now, is that I only eat once a day. And sometimes I'll eat a lunch, but that's extremely rare. I'll, go all day. I'll drink juices, I'll drink water. And in the evening, I'll have some dinner. Well, what I noticed is as my awareness increased, I used to eat meat and potatoes kind of guy, right? But as as my awareness increased, I became aware of the animals that I was eating. And I thought back to the embryo and the intention that was put into that embryo and the conditions in which the animal was raised, and in the way that it was slaughtered as well. So that energy, I became aware of it and decided that I don't want to consume that energy anymore. So for the past, I would say a year now, my diet is dramatically changed. It's a lot of vegetables, and my family eats meat. My son loves meat. But, when I get like a piece of chicken or, a piece of meat on my plate, I'll nibble like a piece of it, and then I won't touch it. I'll just work around it. I'll eat my vegetables. And sometimes my wife doesn't even give me the meat, knowing that I'm just not going to eat it.
Right.
But when I do, I do majority of the cooking in my household. So what I do is I put intention into the food that I'm cooking, and the water that I'm handling. I think about that water, and I think about what I'm doing. So I'm putting my thought into that water. With the leftovers, especially the vegetable lens that were being spoken of, what I do is once I cut it off, I put it off to the side, and I freeze it in my freezer. And when I do that, I put intention into it as well. But when the bag gets full, I boil it, and first I bake it in the oven so I can get that flavor out, and then I boil it for hours and hours and hours. And as it's boiling, I stir it and I put intention into it. So I make a vegetable stock out of it, and then I use that vegetable stock in the foods that I cook. Like supper that I would cook at night, I use that stock. So I'm putting that energy, the positive energy that water has and that the food behind it has. I incorporate that into my cooking on a daily basis, right? And it doesn't take long for the vegetables for the bag to fill up. It's just like a small grocery bag that takes up a little bit of space in the freezer. And that gets filled up within a week and a half. And then it usually takes me about that much time to use that stock. So it's just a constant, loop or recycle of the material. And I found that, my health has really changed, and my outlook on the animals has changed as well. It seems that I'm, my two cats, they seem a lot closer to me than they did when I was consuming a lot of meat, right? So they're more friendly with me, I notice, and I'm picking up on their body language and their communication as well. And it's almost like I'm beginning to understand my cats, especially like my Lord Gilbert, when he's sitting there and he's blinking at me, he's constantly blinking at me, and it's like I'm understanding what he's saying to me. And I didn't have that capacity within my awareness before, when I was consuming all this negative energy through all these animals that I was consuming. And since I've gotten away from that, it seems that that's just growing more and more and more and more. So I would agree, just your diet is up to you on what you want to do with it. But when you're preparing it, your intention going into that food is first and foremost. If you're angry cooking that food, just don't bother cooking, because when you put that anger into that food and you give it to your family, then your family's going to be all mad and pissed off, and they're going to say, oh, this tastes like shit, this doesn't taste good, blah 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 blah, right? So cook with love and intention from your heart, right? Cook from your heart.
That is the best ingredient, putting that love, especially cooking for yourself. I mean, I do eat meat, and I've been eating a lot of bone broth, which is really, I feel, nourishing for me. I cook a pot for 3 days and just eat that, sometimes oxtail. And, it's just grounding for me, especially in the winter, but that's just me. All right, Rosalind, anything to say on the subject, or should we?
Absolutely. I'll say a small bit about it, because it is a journey for all of us. And for myself, I mean, I grew up, I was a farmer. My family, we had a farm. So I grew up in seeing the whole gamut, from the slaughtering of the chickens, which I don't think I could eat chicken for a month or two after that. I'm talking like I was 9 years old, it's like, but yeah. And as the frequency of the planet is rising and our frequency is rising and everything's happening, our bodies are becoming so ultra sensitive to everything. And it is, like Claire says, and it's an individual thing. I think we all realize that, because we're all individuals, and we all grew up eating different things. We all had a different path in our dietary experience. So that kind of starts to taper off and fall away differently for everyone at a different pace. And for myself too, I went from being a meat and potatoes like Omar and liking all of that very much, to pescatarian. And I still occasionally have some fish. But and as Claire was saying, also, I'm also like you, Claire. I will read the back of everything, the ingredients, and our bodies will tell us right away. In fact, the more simpler your diet is and the more fresh it is, let's say natural vegetables, these type of things, eating natural, you will start to realize the second that you put something else in you take something else in that has any kind of process about it, your body will respond instantly. And you'll find that this is a poison. That's not food. Every time I walk through the supermarket now, I look at all the full shelves, the cans, and I think, oh, somebody said something like, if it's got a date on it, and if it has a date on it, a far long date, and it's preserved for that long, you definitely won't survive as long as that preservative date. So
Rosalind, what I say to my clients, I said, if it comes in a box and it's processed, you're better off if you throw out the contents and you eat the box, because the box contains at least the box contains fiber. I said it's more beneficial to your body than what's in the box.
That's not even a joke, because a lot of times, I mean, I've even discovered that sometimes they actually found that they can put wood shavings as filler in some foods. We have no idea what we're eating, not a clue. And even if it's something that's written on there, there could be something in there that we don't even know. But our bodies do know. Our system does know. Us communicating with our bodies, and also Stone, that you with the fasting. I like to do 12-hour fasting, or at least give long extended periods between having something, and I find that gives the system a chance to clear out. And then as soon as you put something in your system, when your system has been cleared, you will get an immediate response. You will even find out what you have allergic reactions to, like edema, swelling, if you have a reaction, and you'll find out right away. You'll find out right away if your salt levels are too much, if you're taking in too much of this or that. You will instantly have a physical response. And it's a communication. We have learning how to communicate again with our own bodies, just to find out what is the best thing for us. And each of us will have specific things. I mean, I used to eat peas. I loved peas on rice. Now I can't eat rice. Now I can't eat peas. And each week I go, well, what can I eat anymore? But really, I thought about breatharianism. Perhaps we're all moving towards breatharianism, because I even tried that once. Actually, I lost like 50 pounds in a month, but I was having the little black coffee. So, but I was pretty close, and that's another, that's not advisable for anyone to just jump in and try it. I mean, we're just struggling with moving toward our crystalline body and cleaning out everything and finding out what really is healthy. But the less ingredients you cook with, the less ingredients that you use to make anything you eat. Try 3 ingredient foods, 2 ingredient foods, 1 ingredient food. That would be a carrot, anything like that, you're better off. And I know I feel better for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're probably getting close to wanting to put the video, huh?
If I could chime in real quick.
Yeah, please, Neil, and then we'll go to the video. Yeah.
Quick 2 cents here.
Yeah.
So since I travel quite a bit, the amount of times I've been in remote areas in the world where I've gone into a grocery store and literally looked at every single thing and couldn't get anything to eat, I can't even tell you. Like, every place in this gas station, everything there, and reading almost the back of it all, and I just wasn't something that I was really resonating with. They all had like a lot of junk in there, right? And I've been vegan now for 5 to 6 years, but I like to call myself a non-judgmental vegan because I don't really care what anybody else does. It's just my preference, I'm more like a flexitarian with vegan tendencies, and I tend to be vegan 98% of the time. But yesterday I said to them no feta, and they put feta in my freaking salad, and I was a little upset, but I ate it. so like, if that happens, it's all good. But a couple of things that I want to just like bring it all together from what was shared here is that actually there is science behind the fact that most of the energy of our body actually goes towards digesting our food. So when you do things like water cleanses and juice cleanses, all of a sudden that energy redirects to other places in your body. And I'll give you a great example. I did a 45.
Oops.
Oh, we got a freeze out there.
And my heartburn that was like affecting me in such a negative way for most of my life. So what had happened in that situation, and what places like the Gerson Institute assist people in doing these cleanses, where they basically do juice cleanses and are cured of cancer, right? Is that the energy is now redirected from your stomach and from digestion and starts repairing cells all over your entire body. So there's really a great benefit to doing juice cleanses. Now on Portal to Ascension, we've curated maybe around 60 hours of nutrition presentations, but I did one and I just want to recommend it to everybody. And I know Susie talked about the documentary, but we did a 10-hour presentation. It's on YouTube, called The Weaponization of Food, and was literally about what happened with the food, what's in these, the history of it all, the companies that did it. And then the other half of the presentation is all solutions to this, right? And because it is a reality, it is happening. But to tie it into what Augie is saying and what we all under the awareness of here,
Monsanto.
and it can mess up your life. But the funny part is, and the paradoxical part, like, is that when you get to a level where you can transmute it, you no longer want the stuff that's junk anyway. So it's like you're putting in the right stuff in your body anyway. But if you get into a situation where you have nothing else to eat, like I have multiple times, then it's your intention, right? I bless all my food all the time. My friend Dr. Dream, he's the one that got me onto it. I used to put tuning forks over my water, to create the harmony. but I would bless my food and be really specific. I'd be like, change the molecular compound of this food in order to only assist in my highest good, my highest vibration. I'd get very scientific with what I wanted. Now I just basically send one signal to my food. But even if, let's just say that energy isn't real, intention isn't real, right? We know it is, but even if it isn't, just the fact that you're taking a moment to actually acknowledge you're eating this food and stepping back to put your hands over it rather than just like scoffing it down, it becomes more of an intentional process. So so it's this and that. We have the ability to transmute. Don't judge yourself for it. You are here in this third dimensional world. There are a lot of luxuries and beautiful food and stuff that's not really good for you, and everything in moderation. And as everybody has said here, your body is going to respond to it. And when it doesn't respond to it is normally when the people are very unconscious about their food, so much so that they can't even feel what's happening in their body until it's too late, and then sicknesses manifest and all that. So just be in tune with the vibration of what you eat, because it really is just an extension of you. That's just what I wanted to add right there.
Just want to quickly say that eat with your hands instead of cutlery, spoons, and forks and such. I find that when you eat with your hands, the food tastes a lot better. At first, it feels a little bit odd and a little bit different when you've had the lifelong programming of using utensils. But when you actually say when you're having rice and you dig in there with your fingers and you grab a clump of rice and you eat that with your hands, it tastes far better than grabbing it with a spoon or a fork. And spaghetti and pasta, all of that. Yeah, it's a little dirty on the hands and it feels a little weird in the beginning, but after a couple of weeks, it really becomes natural. And you find the difference in the food that you eat when you use a fork compared to when you eat it with a hand. So I just wanted to toss that out. And especially with the oils that are coming off the hand, and as you're consuming that actually helps digest your food even more.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, I think we've covered the body now. So thank you, everybody. That was a great overview from a lot of perspectives. And yeah, we need that body in order to house the spirit. But it's not about the body. The body is, the vehicle, but it's about the evolution of consciousness. And of course, we need to keep our vehicles in shape. But Sheila, what did you want to do? Go now to the video?
Please. Yeah.
So you want to introduce the whole thing?
Yes. So, gosh, I met Rosalind about a month ago, and she shared her video with me that we're going to watch tonight. Now, the entire length of it is probably 3 times as long as we'll have the time to watch. But I think, Rosalind, do you have this video up anywhere that if people want to watch it or at least get a hold of you, if you could put your contact information in the chat for people? But when I saw the video, I felt like that it was very, very important for us all to see this tonight, because there's so many things that are happening now on the planet that we don't have explanations for, walk-ins for one, but people are starting to see things. And as the conversation of disclosure continues to become more normalized, it's great, I think, when people can say, hey, this is just commonplace for me. We don't have to worry. These are, benevolent beings that I'm working with or that are here. And so I always look at it as our galactic family, because, we've all come from somewhere, whether a walk-in is angelic, whether we're from a planet, whether we're from the collective, another dimension, whatever, another universe. We're all here right now. And it's what we do together here that's going to make the difference. And I think that if groups like what we have assembled here today in the viewing audience, if we all are in an agreement within a certain resonance, when we're sending that vibration out. And the more that the collective consciousness picks that up, the easier the transition for us is going to be. And so I was excited that Rosalind was interested in sharing this with us tonight. And I hope you guys find it as fascinating as I did. And also I have to say, in talking with Rosalind, she and I have been sharing photos and videos. This lady glows. I don't know what it is, but she'll just like whoop, whoop. She just starts glowing. So just kind of watch her tonight. You never know.
That's a new development. That's
It
kind
is.
of a new development. I started documenting myself, not just the portals I'm traveling through now. So I said, okay, this is fair game. I'm gonna have to admit this is happening. And I tried it, and I had no settings on my phone. Then I tried it in just my phone camera. And then I filmed myself looking at myself in my phone, and I said, this is really happening. But it was wow. I have, we can share that another time, but it's
right. I think it's when you're doing your portal travel that you're probably changing the cellular structure of your being, because, you know, you have to realize that energy is so strong that you're bringing back that it has to imprint, But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I do have to quickly tell you the most interesting thing that has happened to me and that I'm blessed with. As you can see, the light is happening here. It's flashing quite a bit. They let me know they're around all the time. And usually my lights in the room go. But the most interesting thing that I am so blessed with lately, because I'm really by myself out here in Israel, and for all of us, I think we feel like we're kind of by ourselves in a way in dealing with the expansion and dealing with the changes and dealing with all of this new realities, as Ellen is really just the perfect thing here. And recently I received an interdimensional visit from Dolores Cannon, and I have her picture. I could actually show that to you, but it is. And there's something about the convoluted universe. I was there. I did this already. Now I've given you all the information you need. It's up to you to do your part now. Find some joy. This is supposed to be fun. I don't know why, but I chose Rosalind to do this. She can speak for me. And I really don't mind. She's fantastic. She keeps coming around all the time. And I'm like, is this happening, Dolores? And I'm like, but really, she's her energy is around, and she did leave us a lot of information. I gave you everything you need. Everything is energy. It's just like anytime she wants to come around, I'm happy to see her or hear her. So yeah, interesting things can happen. And I think she wants us to know that not to be afraid of our own light, not to be afraid of anything that's happening, and just to keep going and believing. And she's still around. She's still around. We're just changing forms in energy. We're just energy. So yeah, let's zoom into this video and see some interesting things and beings.
Make sure you click share computer sound when you share.
All right.
And just to comment on that, Dolores Cannon's last event was our first webinar.
Amazing.
And it was a Starseed Summit, which is in alignment with what we do with Sheila.
Fantastic. I've been really thinking about having an
QHHT,
QHHT, yes. And then Dolores came around. I'm like, okay, this can't be, this has to be like, there must be a reason why all this is happening. And all of a sudden now I know about 3 people that do that. And it might happen soon. Okay, let's go. Am I here?
Are you sharing the screen?
Yeah, it's really it's about a 20-minute, but I can put it somewhere in the middle, which is a shame. I'm not sure whether to go from the more beginning or the middle, but
Well, show us the highlights of the, images.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. I can probably do that. Yes. Okay, I'm on share screen.
Would it be an
Oh.
issue if we do the whole 20 minutes? Do you think we shouldn't do that, or?
Yeah, we should actually see the whole thing because it's really it's
It's
actually
up
very.
to everybody. That's
I mean,
sure.
if it's intriguing, it's
Who votes
intriguing.
to
You
see
know?
the video?
Well, let's see how interesting it is, actually.
Yeah. Oh, you're cheerful, Ellen.
No, I just think we have a lot of great people here who have a lot of beautiful things to say. But if the video's engaging, then
Well, let's see how engaged we
Well,
get.
let's ask, does anybody on the panel have to leave anytime soon?
I do.
Okay, well, Claire, how long do you think you have?
Oh, maybe about 10 minutes or so.
Oh, so
Perfect.
should we?
But that's okay. You can watch the 20 minutes. I mean, I'll have to leave.
Well,
in
do you want to
about 10
share
minutes.
anything before, since you're going to probably
Yeah,
leave during
that's a
the
good
event?
idea.
Yeah,
during the-
I just want to say I love you all and thank you for your authenticity and thank you for bringing that authentic joy and that higher dimensional frequency to the planet in the most individualized and the most gorgeous way that you are, with just by being your authentic divine self. So it's been a pleasure and an absolute privilege to be part of this. Thank you so much.
Honored to share it with you.
Thanks, Claire.
Yay.
Thank you, Claire. All right, Rosalind, it's all yours.
All right, screen share. Do I have to do screen share? Yes, I do. Okay. Why am I not
Do you
seeing
see-
the bottom of my screen? That's funny.
Did you click the green button?
I
that
know.
says share
I know
screen?
what I had to do. I had to do this. That's why. Okay.
You have to make sure it's open on your desktop too.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so there. Now I can do screen share. And I opened it. So where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. I can barely see that. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Can you see
Can't
that?
see it.
Okay.
No,
No.
we're not.
No,
You didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't
Share
split-
screen.
you didn't share the screen yet.
So
Yeah.
stop the video, Rosalind.
Yeah,
Come,
okay.
come back to the Zoom room. Click the green button at the bottom.
Okay, I thought I did that. Huh?
You got to click like 2 different times. So click the green
Oh,
button.
I didn't put share. No wonder.
Yeah, and then make sure you click share sound right at the bottom of that window. You see
Yes,
that?
Okay, yeah.
There we go.
Do I have to click optimize for video clip or anything like
Yes,
that?
yes, do that too.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, that's it. I forgot to click screen
Okay,
share.
but let's watch the whole thing then. Sure.
All right, let's go for it here. And here we go. it here because she is so very beautiful, and she is a interplanetary a being. So we definitely are on other planets. She's coming through, and she looks just like us. Now, we can't expect everyone to look like us. I mean, I don't look like a tree, and someone else doesn't look like an orange, and not all the beings we're going to see, like as you're seeing here, are going to look the same. But that's what makes our universe so beautiful, is the vastness and the endless expressions of the divine creator source. So that's where we are, learning to love everything and everything about ourselves.
Beyond star, I've traveled far to come to where you are.
This is some kind of a interplanetary landing place. This is someplace else. You can see the lights here, and this ship here, and all these colors, and the plasma, and the electric atmosphere here. It's just incredible, and all of the orbs and things here. It's just it has a feeling of the action that's happening. It's like you just fly in and you go into this realm. They're incredible. Pretty much did all this on my own, and this is what I call Fuse, Full Unity Signal Earth, and that's my self-production company. Fuse, so we can all come together.
That was a very fast 20 minutes.
Yes, it was, indeed. So where are we? I stopped share and we're back. Yeah, I can tell you that it's a lot to take in. Everything we experience, everything we eat, everything we do, the frequencies of the planet, the frequencies of the cosmos, we're integrating all of these energies. And I can tell you, I'm literally vibrating from head to toe. And I realize that this is a lot to take in. And the 20 minutes went very fast. But it's only just a drop in the ocean of our cosmic, infinite universe and time continuum. So be easy with yourselves, be gentle with yourselves, be loving to yourselves and each other. They want to give us this message, and they want us to know that we have never been alone, and we are they, and they are us. So raise your consciousness, people. Let's get this train moving. There's so much to do and so much to see. And it's a convoluted universe. So you have to be ready. I left you all the information. Now it's your turn. Come on.
I think it was really fascinating. And I'm just wondering and curious about a couple of those shots. It looked like you had your cell phone as you were traveling through the galaxy. How does that work?
With a lot of radiation burns on my face.
And your cell phone.
It's true. I mean, I literally, after these sessions, time disappears. It really does. I've had moments where I looked at the numbers on, it's like 180 pictures, and I look at the first one and the last one, and I look at the time, and it's in 6 seconds. So I'm like, that's a confirmation that time has gone missing. And a lot of us are experiencing missing time, the crossing timelines, the converging timelines we're having now. And something about, I've had moments where I remember teaching people how to teleport, and one point, and also helping people get up into these, let's say, acclimatization ports where they can be assisted, because some are having a little trouble with the adjustment. Thus, we have some people who lose themselves a bit, and some people are ready and some aren't. And there's such a complication where it comes to that, of us adjusting to this new frequency and this new reality. So that's why we're here, to help you all, and you to look into yourselves and look around and explore and investigate and find out for yourselves what's happening, and enjoy the ride, to know that we're really limitless beings. Just keep checking into what's happening, and new doors will open every day. Did anyone have any questions or anything?
Hi there, Rosalind. I just wanted to say, how are you capturing your orbs? Because I've been capturing orbs for I don't know how long, and you've got some beautiful photos there. So how are you capturing your ones?
Just with my cell phone and
Okay.
and a cheap $20 scope, because I have a Samsung phone that doesn't have a very far zoom, and I'm probably due for some new equipment, but I'm a what do you call it, a non-for-profit cosmic utopian rose. So as of lately, I haven't upgraded anything, but yeah, it's something that I have. I have this. I'd like to say it's a gift from divine creator source, from that I can see. And those orbs that most people are taking the pictures of, you see them in the sky doing this. And what happens is, I have ships over me constantly, maybe 15, 20 and things, and they actually open up raise your frequency, use your heart, and ask and you'll receive. So I ask them, let me see you as you are. And what happens is they literally open up, and then there I am. I'm inside and just gone, snapping pictures, and they're flashing so fast. I mean, I could literally get 10 pictures per second, or more per half second, and they're just the images. They're sending me so much information. They're sending me technologies, and I have pictures of so many things. This is not even a tip of the iceberg, what is in this video, for what I truly have. And that includes things like that we wonder about, like the creators that helped with creation, the Brahman. I have images of beings in golden realms, and literally you see these royal beings sitting there with these books open, and I have them in pictures. And also of Antarctica, they showed me the openings to the caves and things, and you can see also like the Tibetan, where they're climbing with the heavy clothes on because it's freezing, while they're climbing up, like going toward the mountains there. And
now the majority of the orbs that you had, those were all craft, right? Organic craft, because I did see a lot of beings.
Oh yes, and that's the other thing. Not only are we're just focusing on, and I'm zooming in. The pictures we're seeing are just the actual traveling sphere that they're in, or their electromagnetic device, or themselves, how they travel. But in those same pictures, there are massive amounts of collectives around it, because the sky doesn't look like the sky. It looks a little bit green or brown around this shining orb you see in the middle. And then in there, I'm looking at that, and that's how I've done some of my cosmically commissioned art, because there are certain ones where I can see the beings, so I start to draw them in. I've gotten some beautiful drawings doing that, and it's drawn onto the actual pictures, the actual photos. So just to bring it out on some of them, and some beautiful things have come from that. And they are holding a frequency. When I've shown friends these pictures in the phone, I put my phone up, they literally start flashing the pictures. They hold the resonance, because everything is energy. We shouldn't take for granted, oh, it's just a photograph. But wait a minute. Are we just a photograph to someone else? Maybe. And I've even gotten flashed from my own photos, and it's like you're getting a kind of a download. I see you nodding, Stones. You must have experienced some of that. It's a lot to integrate, and it's quite interesting. But everyone's starting to see these now, and I've been holding back a lot because they said we weren't ready yet. I received that telepathically, that humanity wasn't quite ready yet. In fact, here in Israel, I've shown a few people some pictures, and they were kind of afraid. And I thought, I'm testing the waters all the time to see when we're ready for contact, when we're ready to really open our hearts and drop the fear. And they're waiting for us too. Yeah.
Are you getting any other messages for us tonight, or are you channeling these beings a lot, or is there something you want to share that coming from them?
Yes. Well, I can say that they are watching over the planet, because we have reached a critical mass point, and they are very pleased that we are really tipping the scales as far as expanding our consciousness and preparing ourselves for contact with our extended families. And they're not going to just let us blow ourselves up, put it that way. And I believe that because I live on a port, and they do the Army exercises, the planes and everything here. And they tend to be in places where there are nuclear sites. They tend to be more ships in those areas, over the waterways, the ports. And of course, I live on the port. I won't leave the port. I have to be near the water. So, yes, we're already doing our part by just raising our frequencies, clearing our systems, clearing out the junk. All the junk is junk. It's energy. We're holding baggage. And as we let that go, it creates a stronger energy for the planet and for our system. So it's something we all have to do together. No one person can do this. So they just say to keep going. And they're there with us. Hey,
Here's the one person who could do it right there.
There you go. Yeah,
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, Phil. But anyway, Rosalind, thank you. Are you getting these all the time? Is this something coming like every day?
Yes, I have been doing this for years now, and hanging out the window, and in the winter, in the rain, in the morning, at night. I have elementals in my gardens. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've literally, most times I was out from maybe 9 o'clock in the evening until 7 every morning. And I did it for years now. And I have literally probably maybe 200,000 photographs and videos. It's been quite a work. So I think I'll have to put together some kind of a book, or and keep making movies, or find someone who wants to collaborate on making some movies, and yeah, keep going. And also the transmissions come. When I'm affected by these, and we all are, because these energies are not coming just for me, I'm anchoring them in for the collective. Everything we do, each of us, is for the collective. So some of us are fortunate enough to be in a place where we've reached a certain frequency, where these veils are falling, and we're able to see more and carry more of that for the collective. And I think that's very important. So that's why we shouldn't let ourselves, our frequencies, be lowered too much. So that's where your discernment comes in, because there are a lot of opposing energies that will try to pull us off of that trajectory toward unity, peace, love throughout the cosmos, including us, which are part of the cosmos. So yeah.
Well said.
Anybody else have any comments? James, anything?
Do you ever have physical interactions with these?
Yes, I have actually, and not only physical, but also, whew, that's why I'm going for QHHT, because it's gotten to so many experiences that I need to pull myself in. And I've started writing. I guess I'm probably going to end up writing in a book as well, because it started when I was very young. Yes, when I was maybe 2-3 years old. In bed, a being came toward me and my sleep, and I think, and there was a scratch on my arm, and I remember seeing the being scratch me, but this being didn't seem to me as a friendly kind of being. Or maybe I perceived it like that because I was a child, and it seemed like a very tall kind of being. Maybe it was a kind of a gray or something like that. And when I woke up, I looked at my hands, I looked at the scratch on my arm, and I looked at my hands, and I didn't have any fingernails. I couldn't possibly have done that. So then we start to reason to ourselves, did that really happen? And it did. And I've had experiences of being lifted. I would say maybe the same age, around 4 or 5. My whole family was in the car, and we were driving over the bridge, and everything disappeared, and I was not in the car anymore. I was in the stars. I remember the last thing is looking down from the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, and looking down and seeing at night all the buildings lit up. It looked like stars. And then I looked up and it looked like stars. And the next thing I know, I was in the stars, and they were holding me. And it was an eternal second of being held in so much love. And then I felt them, and they put me right back down into that little girl's body in the car. And suddenly my family was there again. And so I've had several experiences. It really is us raising our frequency and being willing to believe that everything really is possible and things will happen. I was having, when I started the communications with the ships and the beings in the sky, I would ask them, okay, I know I might not be able to have a verbal conversation, but let me know somehow that you are connecting with me. I'm not just seeing you, that we're actually having a streaming of consciousness. So what happened was I had a large tiger eye cylinder on my necklace. And my answer from them was that it jumped off of my necklace and into my hand. And I was a bit in shock for a moment. And then I looked at it, and I sat there for a little while, and I looked at it, and then I checked. I said, let me just see. And the glass was completely closed. There's no way possible that it could have come off. But not only come off, it literally leapt into my hand. So I said, okay, thank you. That's a good confirmation. And then it started with the lights in the house flashing around me, and now I've gone into already where I'm glowing. So, and then where's Rob Omar with his crystallization of his skin. We're just going to go through all these transformational processes. It's all leading us toward the light body. It's all leading us toward the light, the one light, that we're all that. Yes, Phil.
Unmute, Phil.
Unmute. Yeah, unmute. There you go.
I told Madonna in 1984 that she would cross the millennium on a ray of light. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It was 1984.
Oh, Madonna, that?
At Danceteria, yes. Yeah.
Where
I saw
was
you there once. I saw you there once or twice too, Alan.
How come I wasn't there with you and Madonna?
There's secrets. Well,
anyway, Phil,
everywhere.
you missed a whole day of walking in and walking out, and I'm glad you walked back in.
Yeah, well, I could tell you what you missed, but this is not a pissing contest, Okay.
Okay, I wasn't planning on pissing.
While I was asleep, what you missed.
Oh,
but I
okay.
just wanted to, this is something I wanted to show during my talk. This was taken after my walk-in. Look at that face.
Was that after the walk-in?
After the walk-in. Look at that face. Look at that Shana Punham. Look at that.
I was just going to say that,
much
Shana
soul in
Punham.
that face. Look at that, huh? Yeah.
Well, thank you. Was that was the walk-in for the bar mitzvah?
You look at, no, that was 6 years old.
Oh. Okay.
Bar mitzvah, I spoke in tongues. That's another story. But everything changed. You look at photos before and after, man, it's just, there's so much more soul embodied in that, little.
I just wanted to thank Rosalind for her research, and I think it all adds to what we're trying to do here, which is shift consciousness. Age, you have anything to comment on that?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would say it was wonderful, those pictures. And I noticed one more thing. I want to ask you this. you see the picture in the middle of the frame, and then we see something behind it. Some of the pictures that was behind it that was moving look exactly like if you get a hold of a 4th generation night vision goggles and point them into the sky, you will see there's a traffic jam of spacecrafts up there, because that particular form of night vision goggles can see higher up into the light spectrum than we can. So was there something that you just imported, or something that you took also the picture behind?
Okay. Okay, so when I make the video, like I put my own video clips, when you saw the actual flying video clips of these, well, we have a lot of people here, they're probably outside. And in the background, it's just, they're just background, like overlays. What do you call them? Overlays, you know.
Okay.
And it was just ambient to the video, but I put them very kind of like translucent as possible, but so that it would fill in the extra part of the screen, because you have to realize these are photographs. So when you go to transfer that into a video, it's like, well, maybe if you have better equipment.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. Now, I think this acceleration of consciousness that we are going through right now, I think started really accelerating back on June 21 in 1987 at the harmonic convergence, when there was a clarion call that went out. And that clarion call was very clear, because there were millions of people around the globe that had the same thing in consciousness. They not necessarily knowing exactly what to ask for, but they were expecting an help or an interference into the negativity that was going on. And the call was heard. And from that on, I have noticed that there's a lot of young kids coming in that has abilities way beyond what we should expect. Just for the fun of it, go to YouTube and put in the search bar, reading blindfolded, and you'll see kids, anything from 5 years all up, and they can read a book while they are blindfolded, because they tell their mind they can. And these are the things that they don't question it. The reason we don't do that is because, oh, that's ridiculous, you can't do that. But if we changed our mind, and our mind created universe, we could do things like this also.
Thank you.
I saw a video of a kid not that long ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, somewhere in Asia, and he was in a classroom, and everybody else was reading the books, and he was sitting there turning the page and just going like this to the book, and just simply taking the information in from the book to himself, and he'd flip a page and he'd go like that, and it was quite amazing to see. And then I saw another video, it's actually on my channel, where you have these two kids sitting at their kitchen table on the island, and there's a dad standing there talking, and he's talking to his young son, but next to him, his daughter, she just stick out her hand like this, and there's a cup, a cup's about that big, about a foot and a half away, and went like that and moved the cup right into her hand. And no one questioned that video, even though I put it up, and I tried to get comments on it, but even the dad didn't either notice, or the kid did it so frequently that it was just a norm within the household. But when it's not a norm to you, and you see something like that, kids reading like this and moving things, with their hands, it's amazing. And it really goes to show you what's coming up in the future, these star seeds and these indigos that we have coming into the planet. The capabilities that these children have are, I can't wait to see, because we're not really quite sure the power that these children have.
We will find out.
We're going to wrap up a little. Stone, you have any closing words you'd like to share with us?
Sometime I'd love to come on and show you my Orbs album. I get communications from in the clouds. They show me pictures and words. Cloud ships to more solid form ships. So yes, I'd love to come and share some of mine at some stage. But thank you everybody for coming along and sharing. It's good to see, connect, clear intent. So
Yeah,
thank you all for sharing.
Thanks for joining us today too.
Most welcome. Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Yes, I'm sure you'll be part of the Wish Alliance, at some point. Right, Sheila?
You already come.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Phil. But
I
she
wonder
already
though,
attends.
I wonder though, how many of you have an actual photo of you with a munchkin from the Wizard of Oz?
Which one's the munchkin?
That's very funny, Alan. Thank you. Thank you all. Lots of love to you all.
Phil, good to see you. How about James? Anything you want to close out today? It's been a long day. It's been how long now? 9 hours we've been doing this?
Wow.
I just want to resonate off the these children coming in, because I treated myself to a massage yesterday for the first time in 3 years. And I had a 26-year-old masseuse, and we just clicked. And early on, because she was doing such amazing things, I said, do you consider yourself a starseed? And she was a very confident person. And she goes, consider myself? Hell no, I am one. And it was amazing what she could do to your body to heal it, not just massage it. And it was mind-blowing. I could see everything she was doing. And that was her presence. That wasn't my skill set. I believe that she was allowing that to happen. She was nothing short of mind-blowing. And she told me her two children, who are roughly 8 and 3, she said she's certain her daughter is someone special and her son may be. But this was spoken with complete conviction and not just sort of I think I'm, maybe. Everything she did, you could see it. And she didn't just massage, she would put one of 2 fingers right on a particular spot and keep it there. And it would radiate out. And she did, I went in because I had knee surgery last year, blew a knee out surfing. And my gait was off. My right leg was dragging a little bit. And she got rid of it. And then she got rid of something else in my rib cage. And for the first, something from a past life. And for the first time in my whole life, I can breathe normally. It wasn't bad before, but you don't realize what normal is until something's taken away. And it's just amazing what this young person could do. So thank you for listening.
Wow, that is great, Jim. Where are you? What state was that in?
St. Simons Island, Georgia. So it's just north of Jacksonville.
Okay.
It's on the coast.
I'll visit you if I'm driving by.
I would
go
see this lady. Yeah.
All right. Well, if I'm in the neighborhood, yeah, that might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
See me too.
Of course, I'll see you. You're my new best friend. Sorry, Phil. Anyway, so Rosalind, it's up to you. Do you have anything to wrap it up with?
I think we're all doing a great job of wrapping it up and bringing humanity to a new reality in this day and age, in becoming quickly a new age. And sometimes we just have to let it be, like the song says, and go with it. Yes, we are a mystery to ourselves. We came here to explore the grand expedition of transformation and the emancipation of humanity as a unified collective. Consciousness, it's taking its natural course and form back into the awakening hearts all across this planet, our beloved arc star Gaia, and carrying us into our rightful sovereignty and place within the cosmospheric realms of the infinite continuum, and back into the vibration of at-one-ment through compassion, self-recognition, self-love, forgiveness, gratitude, and grace. This is our story, the love story of all time. Let us say, I am that. I am divine creator spark, the golden ark, the covenant of love between the heart, the soul, and the divine creator, Holy Trinity. I hereby reclaim the universe, my home, an infinite space that knows no bounds, no limitations, no separation, no malice. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. This will be our story. So it is. So it is.
So, Sheila, it's been a great day here. Another fantastic walk-in conference. First half.
It has. Just, it's one more step to normalizing the fantastic, bringing all of these components together and, really sharing them with everyone. I'm so excited that everyone was here and stayed for the day. And I'm so excited to have had the presenters. I'm very, very appreciative to each and every one of you for coming out and, sharing your stories. And, as a walk-in, it's not really that easy to start telling people what's happening to you because, most people are, they start backing up. But that was 20 years ago. And now if you say the word walk-in, somebody might say, oh, I'm a walk-in, or, oh, my neighbor, or my best friend, or, oh, hey, and so now it's become a commonplace. And again, I have to say, is what are we going to do with that? Why are we here? I know for me, I came to try to make a difference, and I wanted to be here to participate in the raising of consciousness. And I'm sure that's why we're all here. We all have a piece of that pie. So thank each and every one of you for helping to make that possible.
Thank you, Wonder Woman. You have really.
And tomorrow there's a whole other, I guess, 9 hours. We're going to go for it. So, the chat's also interesting because I want to also hear maybe tomorrow from people who've been made aware of their walk-in experience. That happened last year. Some people said, oh my God, this is what I've been going through. And I think that's interesting as well. So
one of our panelists is going to share that very thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Neil, what do you think? Are you ready to call it a day?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I think I had a great day today, and it was beautiful.
You think you had a great day?
I know I had a great day today, and it was just incredible. And as Sheila just said just a second, I mean, just the fact that we're doing this event, I have so many different ways to contact me on the Portal to Ascension site, but a lot of people just use the chat feature and say, I'm a walk-in, and thank you for doing this. I get that message quite often over the last year. Wow. And the few of them that I asked them to email me, and some of them do, and I'll be sharing their contact information because obviously we're doing this every year and we're going to keep featuring new walk-ins. But yeah, a lot of people are just coming out and saying that I have this experience too, or they know somebody, right? And when you said normalize walk-ins, I was thinking hashtag normalize walk-ins. Make it viral. No, but my favorite thing is when I walk in the street and I just see walk-ins welcome, I always laugh,
Yeah.
Me too. Yes, so, walk-ins welcome here.
Yep. Yes. I'm like, all right, let me call Sheila. She should come down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up then, and I'll just do a couple of poems here.
And we'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah,
1,
exactly.
1 p.m. Eastern.
I just want to say really quickly how so grateful I am that I met you, Sheila, and how grateful I am for Alan, Neil, and everyone and you guys with the platforms and making this world open up to the greater collective. So grateful for your being. Truly, thank you.
Thank you, Rosalind.
Okay.
All right, so what are we going to do now is there's not going to be high energy in these poems. This is going to be meditative, deep reflective
Okay, great.
kind of awareness. And it's just going to be 2 poems. Go ahead, Alan.
No, I just think it's a good way to end the day
Yeah,
and
that's
kind
what I
of
felt too.
dropping in and
It's been a long day too, so it's just like
integrating everything we've heard. Yeah, go ahead.
Take this frequency to bed, into your dream state with you. And it's just going to be 2 poems here. One's called Black Sun, and then we're going to end with The Traveler. And keep your eyes open, shut your eyes, whatever you want to do, lay down, but just tune into the words. And I'm not going to share my screen here, so I'll do that tomorrow.
I just want to thank everyone who's been with us all day and everyone on YouTube and everyone in the chat on YouTube. And thanks so much for adding your energy to this epic event. So
yeah, and to second that, if you want to sign up again to be a part or to watch the replays for today and then be a part of tomorrow, and if you're watching this in the future, you just want to tune in, it's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of everywhere we're going live right now, so you can join in and be a part of it. And we're going to go live again tomorrow with day 2 panel. So go ahead and subscribe to our channels and you're going to get all that info there. Okay. All right. So this one is called Black Sun. And I'm just going to go Black Sun, do the poem, and then just say the name of the next one and do that one too. No pauses here. And about the Black Sun, by the way, you may have heard in many ancient texts talking about the central sun or the black sun. A lot of people have mistaken this to mean the sun of our solar system. But what the black sun and the central sun actually represents is the supermassive black hole in the center of our galaxy. And when you look at our sun in our solar system and you measure the distance between Earth and our sun, you get linear time. But when you start tapping into the central sun or the black sun, what are we doing? We're actually going around in a circle around the central sun of our galaxy. So that's where you get circular time, and which is why a lot of the ancient cultures that speak about the central sun, namely the Maya, for example, they talk about it quite a lot. They're actually not talking about the linear calendar. They're talking about the galactic calendar that goes beyond it all. So this is about the black sun, but also ties into the technology that we see in Sumerian scriptures and other scriptures, where it looks like that there's this technology that's given that's like a miniature singularity black hole that was some sort of technology out of Atlantis, maybe, that had been gifted from generation to generation. And some have speculated, including Nassim Haramein, that the Ark of the Covenant actually held the black sun, the technology of the black sun, which was basically quantum energy and how we can harness it. So this is called the black sun. When the black sun radiates energy from divine immaculate conception, we hold thee as the God we wish to see, some wish to be, through enlightening their own being with internal peace. Anarchy through poetry is just one piece of the oceanic breeze. I will split the seas so we can pass freely to lands promised to me by bloodline. We are all a part of the divine. Heaven on earth, constant search to find the meaning to life is only one part of reality. Intergalactic universal beliefs, interdimensional beings, enhanced communication through planetary rings. We speak to the gods and angels who gave up their wings. Came to this place to bring lower frequencies of emotions such as hatred and jealousy. As long as they remain, we can never truly be set free. So they say, concentrate on love, not of the physical kind, the type that clouds your mind. Blind to things in plain sight. Love is different when it comes from above, not in the material world. Believe in her, fill my conscious mind with ether. I see the door swinging open and close. Love was once blocked by pain and woes. When the sky splits open, heaven will show we are all one. No matter friend or foe, it has already been done. The future has already happened through the eyes of the last black sun. Through the eyes of the last black sun. The traveler, the resurrected one, Many times faced incarnation, simultaneously happening the desolation, sun explosion, implosion, creating a rip in space-time for me to travel with the universal mind into planetary systems vaster than the galactic kind, where the laws of physics no longer apply, where the energetic beings reside, going faster than the speed of light, mass increases to infinity, omnipresence of my energy, one with the celestial melody, harmoniously find the frequencies that are hidden from sight. I left the density of struggle, resistance, and fight. The lessons have been learned. It is time to climb up the dimensional ladder onto the next multiversal ride as a quasi-physical being, half flesh and half light. The metaphysical, metaphorical, quantum theoretical truth of mankind, full disclosure of the cosmic kind, resurrect the Christ consciousness and let the bliss flow and undergo the transition into the fifth world, prophesies to be the end of human karmic woe and the duality of friends and foes. Know this, we're about to shift the human consciousness into the dimension that is next. So allow the vortex to appear. When people start to disappear, melt, and dissolve the fear, the time is near. The revolution of consciousness is here to steer us into the galactic arms of the Milky Way. Swim into the ether with abundance to the universe, we pray. Eradicating the lack mentality, creating technology holistically that has never been seen through the alchemy. Order is the result of anarchy. Throwing off the center of gravity only temporarily during the ascension of our galaxy and all sentient beings. Throwing off your center of gravity only temporarily during the ascension of our galaxy and all sentient beings.
Thank you. That was
Love you all.
Thank you, Neil. Well, thank you, everybody.
See you all
Always-
tomorrow.
It's always hard to say
Absolutely.
goodbye.
I know, right?
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Love you all. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for today.
everybody. See you tomorrow.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.
So
See
much
you
love,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Amazing.